Welcome to our very first podcast. Yes, so we're finally going live on video. This is Politically Black. My name is Sharmel and I'm joined today by...
I'm Yolanda.
I'm David.
And I'm Choose.
Wicked. Thanks guys for taking part in this podcast, man. Today's a bit of a deep subject, sensitive a little bit, but I think it's important and should be discussed and brought to the front because it's something that's been happening and progressing in the last couple of months, especially within our community here in London. So what I'm talking about is the current child abductions that's been happening, around London, and parents and carers, fearing for their children and so on and so forth. So I should start by, I think some of us here, any of you guys parent?
I've got nephews,
I've got
nephews.
I've got two sons.
Two sons. Alright, so two sons, nephews, nieces, and I've got a couple of nephews and nieces as well. And I don't know, what's your experience with, what's been happening, or what have you guys seen or heard, in your community? I'll start to my right. Yolanda, you want to go first?
Yeah, cool. In terms of what I've heard, I've heard a bunch of madness, to be honest. You guys probably heard of the recent one of the young boy, I believe he was 11 years old, got kidnapped, and he actually managed to escape. He actually went to my little cousin's school, and I remember my older cousin messaging me, and we were talking about it. She was telling me just from the text alone that she got from the school, informing obviously all the parents that one of the kids had gone missing, she was just completely scared, and even just to hear her reaction and her emotions made me panic. And for myself, knowing that I've got nieces and nephews all under the age of 10, going into the park, I always say them to the park. They love it. They know me as the auntie that takes them. I'm the park one, innit? Just going there, and one of them is one, the others are older, and obviously the 1-year-old can't keep up with the others. So to be able to constantly having to look back, make sure it's safe, make sure there's no dodgy movements going on.
That's when you're multitasking.
Yeah, exactly. But then it makes you wary, even just when you see a van go past, and you shouldn't do that because obviously there's a lot of people that work with vans and all of that, but it makes you cautious, it makes you look okay.
I mean,
suspect.
It's going to the point where you're even sitting down and you're thinking about all the different type of vans driving by, where your senses are high and where you can't fully relax with your kids or Yeah. That's mad. David, as a parent, I mean, you must be.
How can I say it? Especially when you're out with the children, it just makes you a little bit, again, like you said, more. You have heightened awareness of everything. Makes you kind of question a few things about, like I said, what fans are driving past. Especially now, obviously, you don't want to kind of feed into the media narrative. But again, if this is the children's safety we're talking about, and it just makes you we were trying to achieve the children and our nieces and nephews stranger danger and stuff. But
of course, yeah.
Now it's you don't know, because again, some young children take themselves to school. I remember when I was 9, 10, I was taking myself to primary school, and these are the ages that children are going missing to sort of thing. So it just makes you kind of, as a parent, my children obviously they're not old enough to take themselves to school yet, but again, sometimes they may walk a little bit ahead in front of you, but you can see them. But again, if they're walking past a van that's parked up or whatever, you don't know, if that's a bad intention or whatever, etc. It makes you a bit more paranoid, I'd say. But yeah, definitely.
Patrice?
In general, I can say it makes you more aware, because being coming from Hackney, etc., and knowing what's going on as well, just as a person, you have to be a bit cautious and a bit paranoid, because especially at night time there's a bit of dodgy people around, and even someone just walking behind you is you have to look over your shoulder, because you don't know if that person can be following you, and that person can literally just take you, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
there's a few situations like that where I think I read somewhere a young girl walking by, and then she she was being followed by two men, and one of the men tried to grab her arm, and you know, a young girl, she can't defend herself to a full-grown man. It's like two like that as well. So
there was even one situation where there was a teenager, I can't remember her name, but I think she was like around 14, 15, and like literally a guy like was following her and literally took her and was trying to get her to do sexual things, and like it was a bit of a mad one, like, and like just by that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And there was even another situation that we were speaking about in the group chat. I think it was in the group chat, but it was a traffic warden, and he was speaking to this underage girl. Yeah, and it's like you knew, you know what I'm saying? You knew how old she was, but you chose to take that risk. So it's like even by that, it's just like you have to be cautious because it don't matter how old you are, like anything can happen basically, and that's why most people are either like holding weapons or whatever as well, because even with gangs that are going on, it's mad. So and to hear what's going on with kids now, it's been going on for a while, like in different areas. But to hear it come up more now, you have to be more aware. So
I'm gonna link onto that, like some of the things why it's happening, and you know, and why it's kind of, I don't want to say blown up, because blown up things is usually like linking something positive, but like why it's so upfront now. But for me, I haven't had any direct experience, except from a friend of mine that her kid, one of her kids, and she's very, very protective of her. She's so caring. But when it comes to her children, she doesn't F about. You know what I'm saying? But she was taking her child to school, her boy to school, and literally close to the school, she just literally like 20 meters. They get each around the corner. She was alright, you know, they go to school, and on the way there, you know, the boy is being stopped by a guy coming out from a white man, and luckily, you know, her mum's always told his mum has always told him to, that, you know, extremely dangerous, like you said, David, and the kid legged him into school, and then obviously told the teacher that was there, and you know, obviously when she found out, you can probably guess what her reaction was, you know, and that leads me on to, you know, what do these guys, you know, what do you guys reckon they want these kids for? I think Latrice, you mentioned that, you know, some, especially the females, they might get sexual activities. Now, obviously, every child kidnapping is wrong. You know, I don't condone any of that. But it's come to my attention as well that most of these kids are actually young black kids. Like I said, it doesn't matter the race, you know, child abduction, child kidnapping is wrong in general, but
sometimes people do it because like try to prove a point or something, but I don't get what the point is. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, what are you getting from it? Sometimes, like, I know it might sound crazy, but sometimes people abduct kids because they want to use them for their own sexual.
Yeah. Because like, they know that younger kids are more vulnerable, they're indecisive,
even things like torture, like different type of things, or to just like, I don't know, like things are going bad at home, maybe your woman can't have kids or something, like.
Yeah, there's plenty of women out there, man. You know what I'm saying?
That's how deep things can get at times. It's just like,
I think the acting itself is just violent anyway, and with that, on top of that, comes other things that may come with that, because, like you said, obviously they may just be holding child there, but at the same time they could be doing other atrocities on them, or like trying to get, I don't know, like human trafficking, or as you mentioned, like sexual, or I don't know. There's even the possibility of like organ harvesting and stuff like that. Again, and these things do happen, and again, we've just got to be mindful about, obviously, educating children around us about stranger danger. But even 14, 15-year-olds again are getting kidnapped as well, and they're the ones who are making their way home from secondary school and that, etc. So again, like advise the children at walking groups, etc. Make sure you have a phone on you. Make sure you can contact someone, etc. I don't know, like there's so many things.
Like some of the things that can be done to prevent or help and minimize the problem. But yeah. So,
Yeah, no, I'm pretty much on the same wavelength as what David was saying. I feel like there might be different groups for different reasons, but I feel things like child trafficking, sexual exploitation, even down to the whole organ teething, and I don't want to talk on it like that, but I have heard some mad stories, and I'm not going to go in depth just because of obviously the graphicsness of it, but I have heard, there have been stories like that where some children have come home and, parents have taken them to the doctors and found out something's missing, and it's scary to even think this is going on, but I remember in the past there was a period where we were going through the same sort of stuff, and there was a lot of black children going missing, and there was a lot of organ taking, a lot of child trafficking, and all of those sort of stuff. So it's hard to say exactly what it is. It could all down. For me, I feel like there's an element of child slavery into it as well. Sending them on, we don't know what happens after.
Or even some, like you mentioned, some of the things that are put into those drugs. You don't know what's put into
exactly. And that very reason there, it makes me kind of going into a different topic. Well, not topic, but different part of this. It makes me kind of question why the media hasn't given attention, and why they kind of flipped it as if it's county lines or children are going down the wrong path in that manner and not taking it seriously as it should be. Is there another agenda behind it? As I said, I don't want to go in depth, but you do have to question when you see certain things and you see how the media and just the general public have responded to it. Are we not important enough for you lot to take this seriously? Like young black kids are going missing, and who's taking it seriously?
It's more of a criminalisation of them rather than a victimisation, seeing them as the victims in a situation. Like if someone's getting kidnapped, it's not because they're going to go and sell drugs at the first instance, because most of them will be like, oh, he's gone missing, and probably thinking that he's gone OT or whatever. Instead it's like, no, like someone has taken that child potentially, and we need to find out what's happened and then do some aftercare with that as well. But it's a case of, no, I'm just thinking of the criminal first.
Sometimes they feel once they put some information out, they don't really have to bother too much with the situation, because they've got so many other situations that's going on, and they're more focused on the drug stuff that are going on, drug dealers and stuff like that. Do you know what I'm saying?
It's like a case of, I was going to say it, they'd rather decriminalise it, they'd rather criminalise them so it makes it less of a problem, I'd say.
Yeah.
I don't know, so it makes them feel less guilty, sort of. Not guilty, but kind of like have empathy for them as such. It's like, okay, if you think of them as a criminal, they may be doing this, not even a case of they've been kidnapped first and foremost, it may be a case of that. And they say, oh no, straight away, nah. So they can kind of detach themselves from the situation a little bit.
But the thing is, they're not considering like the long-term implication it has on the mental health of these young kids. Especially I feel for that kid. Like when they mentioned earlier on, imagine waking up at 11, back of a van, seeing kids similar age to you laying down. You don't know if they're what to do, or you start panicking and things like that. Like I said, you don't know what they're putting inside of these drugs. Obviously, he wasn't meant to wake up in the back of the van, you know what I'm saying? But, like young kid, that's just over a decade, they'll grow up with that kind of mentality. What's supposed to.
And you also think that, even as you spoke on his well-being, how is he going to overcome the aspect of knowing that he couldn't do anything to even save the other people? Like he managed to escape.
He had to,
obviously you gotta save yourself, but then I know he's young, so it's gonna be playing on his mind. Like even me at my big age, I'm gonna be thinking, what could I have done to help them? Like, they're probably still there in that situation. No one knows where they are. No one even knows what they look like. No one knows what the people look like. Well, they said that they got the people that took them, but there's so much that's going to be playing on that young boy's head. So much different avenues, and then the whole family. The family, you have to deal with that as well. The mom knowing that her son was drugged, like she had to take her son to the hospital and make sure everything is alright. Like, mentally, it messes up a lot of people. It's not just the one person taken that's affected. It's everyone within his circle. It's everyone within the community who has to hear this constantly. And you know, even today, I was going through Facebook and that, and I see at least 3 different pictures of missing kids, and it's like, why is it so frequent and so much?
And some of these kids, unfortunately, don't get on. So, and then a couple of days later, I've seen it on Instagram as well. Some of these young teenagers, I think the mother lost her son, just like that, in his teens. His thing was just beginning, sorry, man.
Is that the one that got killed by the racist people?
Yeah, that's a whole.
That's a big.
There's a whole different one.
Obviously, he's still getting missing, But yeah, I mean, like you guys are saying, the defense system, the police, not taking the investigation seriously. I mean, alright, so that leads me into saying, like, as a community, like, what can we do? I mean, hopefully we're doing raising awareness now, so we're doing a bit, but what more can be done to, like, minimize, and obviously our kids are helpless, they can't defend themselves, but
I think we gotta get back that village mindset.
Yeah,
so like, I obviously I know in Africa it's quite strong as well, but in the Caribbean, if an elder sees one of the young people, whatever, acting up or whatever, they're not afraid to pull you aside. I know your parents, I will beat you. Like, obviously we're not condemning beating kids, but it's about taking the responsibility and knowing that, cool, yeah, they're not my blood, but that's my children, that's my cousin, that's my brother, that's my sister. Like, if I go out on the street and I see young people, that's my family. I gotta take care of them regardless of whether we're blood. That's the mindset that we as a community need to start having, so that they know they're not alone walking these streets. Because a lot of these young kids feel like, alright, they'll walk past us and we're total strangers. Yes, stranger danger, but we've got to make them know there are people that are there for them.
Yeah.
Yes, stranger danger, but there should be a community that should be your family as well. And we've got to get that mindset back. And as I said, in the Caribbean and Africa, we have that mindset. We look after our own.
Trust and all of that as well, and like coming together as a team and showing that, like, there is people that are there for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, because even though things were a bit mad back in the day, but there was a time where everyone could literally have their doors open and they're safe.
Yeah.
And like, if anyone tried anything, they know, like, everyone knows each other, type of thing.
Exactly.
I know that you can go to this person or that person if you need help or whatever, but it's a bit difficult now because how everything is in this generation, especially with the young people and everything like that. It's like, if you have your door open, if your house is natural, your house is getting robbed. Do you know what I'm saying? So you can't be safe. And like, if there's a paedophile on the street, you've got kids, you can't have your kids out on their own in a park because you don't know if a person could just come up and take a kid. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like, once you turn your head, a couple of seconds, your kid can be gone.
And
you know what I'm saying?
Is where the work that we're doing as a collective, HCBS, like the youth team, is so important, because you can have that mindset and go out there and bring forth these same conversations that we're having now. Then people know that, when we see young people, when we see a brother and sister, that's your brother, that's your sister. Like, care for them, look after them, because when you really check it, the system or the police and all of that, they're not doing that for us.
Yeah.
They're not, like, you mentioned a young teenager, I don't want to say his name, but recently lost his life after going missing. And when you check the reaction from the community, from the police, to that young brother, and the young lady who lost her life from the police officer, it's a very, very big difference. So the community, the system, the police, all that, they don't care for us. That's evident. We've got to start caring for us. That's like, it's not going to happen overnight. I'm fully aware of that, but we have to start taking care of us because no one else is literally doing it. Like, it's being proven. Our kids go missing and they say, oh, they're going county night. What's a 9-year-old's going county night? Not saying it ain't possible, but why is that your first thought? That a 9-year-old who goes primary school, whatever, is going to go count just because he's gone missing? That shouldn't be our first thought. So yeah, like, we just got to start taking better care of our own community and hold each other accountable in every direction, every avenue, every situation, and just make sure these the young ones growing up beneath us know that, you know, this is your bigger brother, your bigger sister, your uncle, your auntie. Like, there's people out on the road. I don't know you personally. I don't know your family, but if I see you, you're right, auntie, you're right, uncle, you're right, sis. Like, that's how I grew up in it, and I install that into my niece and nephews. And if I have kids, God willing, I will install that into them as well, because that's a mindset I've had, and it's helped me. That if I walk out on the street now and something happens to me, people know me because I'm respectful and I always say hi to them. They're gonna jump in like, no, that protect.
Yeah, of course.
That's what we need to get back to.
And say hi or like, you're right, you know what I'm saying? I'm not walk past someone and they're just giving you a look, no, go back. Are you trying to talk to me type of thing? It's like, alright.
We gotta scrap that mentality.
And I think
that's what makes some of us feel like, you know, sometimes like, don't get twisted like me, I have a natural straight face, you know what I'm saying? Like, she doesn't. But if you come and approach me, you know I'm a nice person, do you get it? Like, and at times I think I'm going to the shop and I'm like, you right, boss? You know what I'm saying? Like, everything good, like, just being nice, it gets you a long way, do you get it? Like, sometimes someone will just, like, asking the time at a bus stop and then you just start having a conversation with them and it's just like, have a good day, auntie, do you know what I'm saying? And they just remember that, oh, I had a good conversation with this girl, do you know what I'm saying?
It's the village mentality that Yolanda was mentioning about. Yolanda, I completely get where you're coming from, because, you know, especially if you grow up in a small community and you only know certain parts of people, even, you know, 200-300 people, a small village. Everyone that you know, most of the people in the village, you know, you will have some sort of connection with. Whereas here, we've adapted to be on our own, separate, you know.
Can't be in a group because you don't know who could be like this person and could just switch up, and it's like, then the trust issues come in and it's like, and it's just like a cycle of, well, should I be around people, should I be on my own, who do I trust? Because it's like, what's going on as well, who can you really trust sometimes?
Oh man, but yeah, I mean, I know there's also like this petition going. Do you see what points do you guys see what point it's gotten to where you need to have petitions up to try and get the government's attention or something to be done? You know what I'm saying?
But even with that, you've got to get approval from the government for them to even consider
not even it's going to happen. It's okay, we'll look at it. You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of, I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry, but it's sad. It's, you know, it shouldn't like, it hasn't happened once, it has happened twice, you know, happened in Bromley, in Croydon, all of them areas, London Metro.
London happening in Hackney. It's even happening in Hackney.
Yeah, it's happening pretty much all around London, even in Enfield, in all of places. And we're expecting, is it 10,000 or 100,000 people to sign a petition just to get the government to look, or to take it a bit more serious. That's what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, the petitions.
Yeah, it's crazy though. Because like, when you really think, this is why I said we've got to start holding ourselves accountable and take that responsibility, because we have to sign a petition to get them to even consider
not even to say
thinking about whether this is important enough, and then if they think it's important, they then have to go on to the next step to like, okay, how can we then help?
It has to get to a detrimental stage for them to be like, alright, cool. something needs to be done.
I mean, it
But
already
it
is
shouldn't
like
have to.
that.
It shouldn't have to.
It is
get
like
to
that.
As long as
Still not
this is
supposed
what's
Yeah,
being
that's what I'm saying.
it's
Like,
never
even up to now,
detrimental.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just like,
At what stage are they gonna?
yeah,
like,
what
this
stage
is
next
just-
week. They start to do things here and there, but then it's just like,
It's-
alright, I'll do
it's
something for
fading
now.
out.
I'll do
Yeah,
something for
fading
now,
out,
and then it gets detrimental even more. It's just like this little bit here, little bit there, but it's not enough because those little bits are just gonna fade away over time because it's just gonna get even worse and you're not really doing anything to change the situation.
What really
Temporary or a temporary
Just
fix.
a temporary fix, yeah.
is that I will go back to, I might as well say it, the brother Richard and Sarah, that case, and even the sister Blessing, yeah. Those three different cases happened around the same period of time. Sarah, Blessing happened before Sarah. No, barely anyone even knows about her
That's just
situation.
it, exactly.
R.I.P. and my condolences and love and respect to her family,
Sure, yeah.
because no one even knows, and they're not even looking into how she mysteriously
Ended up
died on the beach.
Yeah.
Her clothes all folded neatly. They're trying to say it's suicide. Okay, cool. I don't believe that, but cool. Then the whole Sarah situation happened again. Rest in peace. Condolences to her family. Love and respect, because I don't wish death upon anyone. I know that pain is too real. Then the Richards case happened again. Same condolences, love and respect to his family. But look at the reactions from the society, from those in charge. There was so much energy, time, effort going into making sure, fair enough, he was a police officer. We don't even know what happened to the other Blessing and Richard, but fair enough, he was a police officer. So we know instantly they're gonna come down on hard on that officer because they don't want it to seem like, oh, our police officers are bad. It's just a one bad apple in the bunch sort of thing, innit? Cool. Which is fair. At least she got her justice, well deserved, and her family can get some kind of peace. But then when you check how they reacted to Richard's case, how they reacted to Blessing's case, and every other case after that, these are all deep, but those three all happened around the same period of time. We're still talking about Sarah today. Most people don't even know Blessing's name. Most people don't know Richard's name. Like, this is how heartbreaking it genuinely is. Like, our kids are actually going missing, and they're going missing in more ways than one. Now, when I say that, they're going missing because people are taking them. They're going missing because media is not showing no light on their situation, so they're actually going missing.
To the
Like,
public eye.
more ways, like when you really deep it, more ways than one. They're just getting swept under the carpet, under the rug, however you want to say it. Like, our children are going missing and no one's actually doing, like, I don't want to say no one's doing anything about it.
Not much is being done.
Yeah, that's a better way to put it. Yeah. Like, what, other than us
It's
taking
more time
accountability,
us as the public, community and individuals than the whole system. Like, that's what's the problem. The system ain't that there that much.
and
It's more time people are trying to get their attention from the system and we're having to do everything upon ourselves to raise awareness and raise like a reaction, you know what I'm saying? Like,
for them to
get
even
something
get-
to be put out there, do you know what I'm saying? So
And then like, but the heartbreaking thing about that is that, yeah, we do it, but we do it for like 2 weeks, and then it just gets swept under the rug
That's
by
what I'm
our own
saying.
people as well. And
we're not able to like do that much because we're not given that much of an opportunity at
just
times.
like,
and
not
it's-
even that.
yeah.
We're given opportunity. We could speak about it as much as we want. Like, if we're that real, if we were serious, we could make the most noise we ever wanted to. Because if a new music video comes out and everyone loves it, we're on it.
Talking about it, yeah.
If clothes comes out and everyone loves it,
We're on
the
it.
hype is on for time. The
Everyone's
shoes,
on
the hype's on for time. Our kids go missing, our kids are dying.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
2 weeks. When it comes to our people, when it comes to the things that we actually have to go through, we don't have the same passion. We don't have that same even commitment to it. And that's where we fail as a people, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree with what you're saying. You know, and it starts it starts with us. I think it can't be like through petitions and things. I think the community's voice, you know, us as people would have more of an impact, you know, and us actually doing something individually and would actually likely lead to a better change. So yeah, I completely agree with what you're saying, Yolanda.
I don't know what captured, but as I was saying, like, we can't we can't rely on the system to actually bring forth this change. Like, it's proven for years, and I don't know why we as a people still rely on the system, still call out to the system to come and save us. They are the ones who put us in this situation. Why are we calling to you lot to save us? Like, we've been asking you lot for years to take us out of the situation that you put us in, to take us out of the bondage, the invisible shackles that you put us in. 400 years or whatever, we're still asking. We can't keep doing that. We have to take that ownership as a people and just be ready to fight. Yeah. Like, whatever your gifts are, whatever your talents are, whatever you're passionate, use that, because we're at war. Like, let's keep it real. We're at war. There's people that actually don't want us to
ourselves.
And within ourselves, yeah. But we just gotta come as people, like, youth leaders, we gotta step up. Cooks, we gotta step up, make sure that we're eating the right food, so when it comes to it, we're ready, you know? Soldiers can't fight if they're not physically prepared as well, so whatever your position in life is, be ready to just take it on, go into the battlefield. Not all of us are going to be on the forefront, but all of us still need to fight. We still have a position to play, so yeah.
It starts with us, like what we're doing right now. Blicky Black.
Yep.
But yeah, on that note, Yolanda, thank you very much. Thank you guys for joining me. I'm Sharmel.
Been Yolanda.
David.
The truth.
Okay, thanks guys for joining me. And thanks. See you guys on our next podcast. Thanks for joining.
Bye.
Thank you. Take care.